Welcome back everybody for the Sri Guru Raghavendra Bank Coaching Center daily current affair discussion of Hindu and Indian Express. Moving to first question. The first question here is all about one banking terminology called NIM. NIM stands simply net interest margin. This term NIM generally by the end of every financial year or else by the end of quarter, while any bank announcing their quarterly or annual results. This term we will heard many times in newspapers and news channels, NIM, and it has very important role in a banking system, financial health also. Let's discuss what actually meaning of NIM, how it will be calculated, right? Recently, in the month of April itself, the day that I'm preparing this current affairs on April 23rd, ICICI Bank at Yes Bank announced their quarterly results, and that's why I highlighted this particular acronym called NIM in our discussion. See what actually NIM. Before going to that discussion, very briefly, very simply, you can understand NIM simply stands net interest margin formula. You can see here. It's the difference of interest received and interest paid divided by average invested assets, right? So in other words, how easily we can understand, let me explain. Let me take an example. Bank is a financial intermediary between two kind of human beings: people who keep money with a bank, people who takes loans from a bank. These guys are depositors, these guys are borrowers, right? For the depositors, bank will pay interest. From the borrowers, bank will charge interest, right? So now we understand how we will calculate bank net interest margin from this simple example. Imagine one of the depositor or its total depositors money in a bank pocket is 1 crore rupees, and for this 1 crore, bank is paying 5% rate of interest on their deposits, like a savings account, current account, FD, RD. For all this average interest I taken 5%. And out of this 1 crore, imagine bank lend 70 lakhs rupees to the borrowers, and on average, like different loans, personal loans, educational loans, vehicle loans, home loans, corporate loans, like number of loans, among all these loans, okay, the average rate of interest, let us assume 10%, right? Now this 1 crore is costing for a bank 5%, means 5 lakh rupee interest bank is paying. Bank should be in a position to generate more than 5 lakhs from the 1 crore rupee amount if it want to run in a profitable position, right? Now entire 1 crore bank can't lend because of certain RBI guidelines, and imagine they lent an amount of 70 lakhs rupee. From that 70 lakhs, they generated interest of 7 lakhs. 10% means 7 lakhs, right? Now let's go with the formula. What is net interest margin? Interest received, that is how much interest received a bank. In our example, 7 lakhs. This portion is 7 lakhs minus interest paid. How much interest bank is paying? 5 lakhs divided by, this the numerator portion is a little bit important, divided by average invested assets. Bank is investing somewhere, where? On the borrower. If bank is lending money to some other people, that's an investment only. This invested assets. Along with that, let us assume there will be government bonds also, like the different assets also. On government banks, bank invested 10 lakhs rupee. Let us assume 10 lakhs rupee. So I can consider in this example, in the form of loans, bank invested 70 lakhs and bank invested in government bonds 10 lakhs rupee. Totally average invested assets 70 plus 10, that is 80 lakhs. Okay, that's the denominator portion. So in this example, how can we calculate NIM of a bank? Net interest margin. Interest received, this 7 lakhs rupee on 70 lakhs, and let us assume this 10 lakhs also generating a interest of a percentage of almost 10%. Generally government bonds won't give that much rate of interest, but I take an example, 10 lakhs. Of 10 lakhs, 10% means 1 lakh. It means this is 7 lakhs, and from this 10 lakhs again 1 lakh, that is 7 plus 1, 8 lakhs income, minus interest paid by the bank 5 lakhs rupee, to their depositors divided by, what is denominator? Average invested assets. Investment of this 70 lakhs and investment of this 10 lakhs, totally 80 lakhs. So now in this example, particular bank NIM, how can we calculate? 3 divided by 80, 3 lakhs divided by 80 lakhs. If you want to express in terms of percentage 100, this is simply 30 by 8. 30 by 8 means 8 3s are 24, 6, 8 7s are 56, 4, 8 5s. Almost in this example, a particular bank NIM net interest margin is 3.75%, right? So simply, I hope you people understand the what's the concept of NIM. NIM is nothing but, you can see here, this all points are like that. Whatever the explanation I given, those things only, if you go through that, you can easily understand. See, what is NIM? Net interest margin. Interest received minus interest paid. Interest received from where? From loans and investments. Interest paid to whom? Depositors, divided by average invested assets. In our example, loans from 70 lakhs bank lent, and another 10 lakhs invested in government bonds. Okay, right. So from this loans, bank is getting 7 lakhs income, let us assume. From this 10 lakhs, bank is getting income of 1 lakh rupee. Now this portion is 8 lakhs. The sum of these two, 8 lakhs, minus bank is paying interest of 5 lakhs rupee. That is 8 minus 5 divided by 80 lakhs into 100. Our example, 3.70% NIM of a particular bank. Okay, so net interest margin, if any bank is maintaining 3% or else above 3%, that indicates bank is in absolutely financially healthy condition. Okay, so this is also one more point you can remember. If it is a bank, we are calling with a acronym like NIM, right? The same manner, if it is like a NBFC, you can see here, it is similar to gross margin or else GPM, gross profit margin of NBFCs. If it is a bank, we are saying the term like net interest margin. If it is like a NBFCs, there we use the term like GPM. What is GPM? Gross profit margin. So that's all about this net interest margin. And if you want to understand in a better manner, you can go through this picture. There I take an example. Deposits around 1 crore rupee and loans bank given 70 lakhs, and here I taken loans amount to 50 lakhs and government bonds 10 lakhs, 60 lakhs, and I considered here a 10 lakhs rupee of this 20 lakhs rupee of this 70 lakhs as NPA. Okay, non-performing asset. If 20 lakhs is NPA out of 70, interest generating asset is 50 only, right? That's why I taken this 50 and remaining 20 like NPA. So you need to understand denominator portion especially. See, average invested assets. In this example, how much bank is invested here? 70 lakhs on loans, and I taken this one 10 lakhs on government bonds. But of these 70 lakhs, if it is 20 lakhs NPA, then interest generating asset is only 50 lakhs, right? That's why here in your pick I given average interest earning asset 60 lakhs. If that's the case, how can you calculate? Again, here previous case I'm not taking NPAs. Now in this example I included NPAs also. 20 lakhs went in the form of NPA. If that's the scenario, remaining 50 lakhs only interest generating asset plus government bonds of 10 lakhs, that is now it is 60 lakhs. See, in the same example, bank, one more time I am explaining. Bank, borrower, depositor, borrower, they kept a money of 1 crore. For them bank is paying 5% means 5 lakhs, and they lent here 70 lakhs, and imagine in government bonds bank invested 10 lakhs rupee. This is the scenario. I am saying now on this 70 lakhs, let us assume 20 lakhs now acting as NPA, non-performing asset. What is NPA? The loans which are not generating any form of income to the lender, to the bank within 90 days time. Okay, we'll discuss separate topic, that one. So if 20 lakhs went in the form of NPAs, now the asset which is generating income is out of the 70, 50 lakhs only, right? That 50 lakhs plus this government bond of 10 lakhs, right? Now, from this 50 lakhs, if bank is generating interest of 10 percentage, and from here like 10 percentage, here it is 5 lakhs, here it is 1 lakh. Now, in our formula point of view, see, interest received now, this 5 plus 1, 6 lakhs, minus interest paid 5 lakhs, divided by average interest generating asset is how much? 50 plus 10, 60 lakhs. That is simply 100. If you multiply 1 by 6 into 10, now there is a drastic change. So 5 plus 1, it's a little bit a very small NIM in this case. 6 minus 5, 1 by 60, 1 by 60 into 100, simply 100 by 60, 10 by 6, not even a 2% of NIM. In this example, less than 2% of NIM, and this indicates, see here, because of NPA, bank is struggling. Then if bank having more what we call NPAs, NIM also comes down, right? For the same example, I taken 20 lakhs as a NPA. In that scenario, bank profit margin was drastically reduced to below 2%. So from this discussion, I want to conclude one thing to you people. Banks should have to maintain their NIM 3% and above 3%. Then only we can say bank is absolutely in a financial healthy condition. That's all about first topic discussion. It is not like a question format, a first question, first statement. It is just like a concept I'm discussing with you people. NIM stands for net interest margin. It is the difference between rate of interest earned by the bank from the loans and investments minus interest paid by the bank to the depositors divided by average assets which generating income to the lender. Okay, that's all about first statement. With the next statement, this next statement is simply Indian space policy in 2023, new space policy in 2023, right? So in space policy 2023, Government of India classified Indian space policy into 4 distinct categories. Let's see what are they. Simply, in space, ISRO, NSIL, and DSO, Department of Space, DOS, Department of Space. 4 different classifications of Indian space policy. Let's understand what actually these 4 are organizations importance, departments importance. And now my question is, you can see here, the Indian space policy 2023 creates 4 distinct but related entities that will facilitate greater private sector participation. Now we need to identify the incorrect statements. In this current affair, my major objective to convey to you people is the Government of India came with the guidelines to encourage private investment, private participation in Indian space industry. That's what this is the point. To facilitate, will facilitate greater private sector participation. As of now, very few private companies, private space companies like from Hyderabad, Skyroot Space, like that, very few space companies exist in India. To encourage private investment in space industry, Government of India came with a new space policy in 2023, right? Let's go with the one by one. As I said, 4 distinct but related, each organization here interrelated to the other organization. Let's see what are their roles and responsibilities. First one, in space. In space role as guardian and promoter of the private space industry, including building launch vehicles and satellites and providing space-based services. This is the point you should consider. The agency, this InSpace, acts as an interface between ISRO, okay, so InSpace act as interface between ISRO and non-governmental entities, means private entities. Simply, so it is just like an interface between ISRO as well as non-governmental entities, and assess how to utilize India's space resources better and increase space-based activities. Simply, I said 4 distinct entities. The first entity is in space. Its objective, simply you can remember what is the role and responsibility of in space. This one, in space. And yeah, first let me conclude role and responsibility, then I will discuss what is the abbreviation of in space also. In space is the one entity which regulates, which promotes private investment in space industry, and it will act as interface between ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, and non-government entities, means entities in the sense private investments in a space industry, right? And one more point, this in space abbreviation you can remember Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization. That is the abbreviation of in space. Its role is promoting private investment in a space industry. Okay, that's a very important. Who regulates, who promotes private investments in space industry? Like that, if you expect a question, for that question answer is in space. What stands for in space? In space is nothing but Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization, and the location, the headquarter of in space is at Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Okay, that's the first option. But in our question, we need to identify the incorrect statements. Whatever the information that we discussed here in option A, that is a correct only. What we learned from option A, in space is the regulating and promoting agency of private investment in space sector, and it will act as a interface between ISRO as well as non-government entities, right? So moving to option B, ISRO will focus on research into outer space. This will mean developing new space technologies and applications to maintain India's edge in space infrastructure, space transportation, and human spaceflight, etc. So in option B, the roles and responsibilities of ISRO clearly mentioned. ISRO will, now the major focus of ISRO is to reach into outer space. This will mean developing new space technologies and applications to maintain India's edge in space infrastructure, space transportation, and especially the last point, human space flight. We are in the process of that to send humans into the space. We partnered with the different countries like Russia, right, France, so those nations. So simply ISRO is going to completely focus on outer space, and these are the other roles and responsibilities of ISRO, right? So even this one also two thing only. Next, option C point of view. Fine. This is the one thing you should consider. NSIL. What the role and responsibility of NSIL? New Space India Limited, headquarter Bangalore, I given there, Karnataka. It is responsible for commercializing space technologies and platforms created through public expenditure, as well as manufacture, lease, procure space components, technologies, platforms, and other assets from both public as well as private sector. Public sector means here it is ISRO, whereas private sector means any private space companies, if in future comes, like as I said, in Hyderabad, one space company, Skyroot Space, if they develop any technologies, ISRO is developing any technologies using satellites, and for that particular private companies like Skyroot Space and public company like ISRO, to these companies technologies, this NSIL will act as a market maker. They sell the products of the technologies of these private as well as public companies to the particular organizations who requires them. Simply, it is a commercial it is the one which is commercializing the space technologies for both private sector as well as public sector organizations point of view, NSIL. So simply it is a market maker of private as well as public sector organizations in a space industry. Next, that's also true only. Moving to option D, the Department of Space, DOS, will provide overall policy guidelines and be the nodal department. So overall space industry point of view, guidelines will be provided by the Department of Space, and it is going to act as nodal department for implementing space technologies and coordinate international cooperation and coordination in the area of global space governance also, right? Overall space policy, some space policy point of view, total guidelines will be defined by the DOS, that is Department of Space. That's also true. Here, as I said, new space policy of India 2023, 4 different categories, 4 different distinct entities. What are they? Let me conclude one more time their roles and responsibilities. This is IN-SPACe. Its role is to encourage private investments for the space industry. ISRO, it will focus completely in the outer space to improve Indian space point of view infrastructure applications and human flights, human space, any flights, such a kind of things. Whereas NSIL, it is act as a market maker of both public and private organizations in future. And finally, DSO, DOS, in fact, Department of Space, it is the one which defines guidelines for space industry, and it will act as a nodal agency. That's all about these 4 different distinct entities. Now, if you come across option E, I said IN-SPACe headquarters located at Mumbai, Maharashtra, but actual our question is identify the incorrect statement. Here the incorrect statement is this one only, because as I said earlier, IN-SPACe headquarters is not in Mumbai, Maharashtra, it is in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Okay, right. So these are the things we should remember by correcting the headquarters of IN-SPACe. It is Ahmedabad, Gujarat. What is the roles and in this question? Completely my intention to convey you people is IN-SPACe roles and responsibilities. It is the one which encourages private investment in space industry. That's the point you should remember. And where is the headquarters of IN-SPACe? That is Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And the remaining options B to D, B, C, D, I given some extra information only. But the thing which is in news here, IN-SPACe, it is the one which encourages private investment in space sector, and the headquarters is at Ahmedabad, Gujarat, right? So that's all about second one. Here the incorrect statement is E, but after correcting, headquarters of IN-SPACe is at Ahmedabad, Gujarat, right? Moving to next question. In this question, the government is encouraging the liberal application of the Prevention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1988. In 1988, Government of India passed a bill especially to prevent illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, etc. Act 1988. And now Government of India is saying any drug activities which are find out by this particular organization NCB in India, to fight against narcotics and drugs, there is an organization called NCB, stands for Narcotics Control Bureau. It was set up in 1986 and its headquarters is at New Delhi. Okay, now recently this organization, for the first time ever, they conducted a conference, that is state ANTF. What is ANTF? Anti-Narcotics Task Forces was held recently with an objective to cut a route of narcotics, OP cannabis, with an aim to make India drug free by which year? So simply in this question, the highlighted point is simply by which year India is going to become a narcotics as well as drugs free nation. That's the question. But regarding that, I provided here, there is an act to prevent any illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances point of view. There is an act. That act information also I provided 1988. And to fight against of narcotics and drugs, a government agency, government organization in India was set up in 1986, that is Narcotics Control Bureau. Its headquarters is at New Delhi, and the first time ever conducted conference of state ANTFs, that is Anti-Narcotics Task Force, was held recently with an objective to make India drug free by which year? That's the question. And correct answer for this question, if you look at the options here, 27, 37, 47, 50, 2100. By 2047, that is 100th year of Indian independence, the government of India target is to make our nation completely drug free. By which year? So correct answer is 2047. By 2047, the one more target for the government of India is in tourism industry to increase the value of tourism by 2047, 100th year of independence, to $1 trillion industry, to promote tourism industry as a $1 trillion industry. That's the target of government of India. It's an extra info that you can remember. So simply let me give a review of this question. To fight against narcotics and drugs in India, there is an organization called NCB, Narcotics Control Bureau. First time ever they conducted a conference to make India drug free. By which year? It is by 2047. And there is an act also who are going to do such activities like illicit trafficking of drugs, narcotics, such a kind of things. That to prevent such a kind of thing, there is an act also, and that act is passed in the year called 1988. You can see the act here itself. There is Prevention of illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances Act 1988. That's all about this question. Moving to next question. Yeah, the question is all about Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act or Guarantee Scheme. As we all know, under this scheme, every family is eligible to get 100 working days employment. And regarding that, recently, while payment system point of view, there is an update from the Ministry of Rural Development. Let's see what actually the points here we need to remember. The Union Ministry of Rural Development introduced the mandatory APBS, a digital payment system which uses Aadhaar to authenticate and authorize banking transactions for transferring wages under Manrega. That is Mahatma Gandhi, this one abbreviation if you want, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Okay, Manrega scheme, Manrega Act. This was passed in 2006. Remember, 2006. The system requires that, and now the government of India is saying requires that workers complete their Aadhaar seeding, Aadhaar authentication, mapping with the National Payment Corporation of India. Those who are not, continuation for that, those who are not performed these three things. What are the three things? Simply these three: Aadhaar seeding, Aadhaar authentication, and mapping with NPCI. For ABPS will not be, you can see here, will not be able to access work. It means simply they are saying every family who is having Manrega job card has to complete three things. One is Aadhaar seeding. Aadhaar seeding means linking their Aadhaar number with the job card number. Next, Aadhaar authentication, verifying their address, all those things with the UIDAI data, and mapping with the NPCI. What actually it means? Linking their bank account with their Aadhaar card. Okay, so if a family or a worker under Manrega completes these three steps, then only they will eligible to get access to work under the scheme called Manrega. They are saying that is the new kind of payment system introduced by the government of India recently, APBS. Now my question, what stands for APBS? Simply the abbreviation of APBS stands for Aadhaar Payment Bridge System. Okay, the complete abbreviation of APBS, Aadhaar Payment Bridge System. And here my question is, what stands for B? B simply stands bridge. Okay, right. And here I given some extra notes also. What is actually Aadhaar seeding? What is actually Aadhaar authentication? What is actually NPCI mapping? If you go through that, you will easily understand that what I said. Other seeding means linking other holders unique 12-digit Aadhaar number with personal identification documents or benefit cards such as Manrega job card. Simply, the beneficiaries of this Manrega scheme need to link their Aadhaar number with the Manrega job card number. That's what this Aadhaar seeding means. Now I said Aadhaar authentication is a process by which Aadhaar number along with the demographic information such as what? Their name, date of birth, gender, etc., biometric information, fingerprints as well as iris of an individual is submitted to UIDAI's Central Identities Data Repository for its verification, and UIDAI verifies the correctness of the details submitted or the lack thereof on the basis of information available with it. Okay, simply that's what our data, our gender, our date of birth, our address, okay, our age, all those things will be verified with the data which is already available with the UIDAI. And if anybody there is any mismatch, present existing address and present residing permanent address and residing address, in that scenario that card holder will be removed from the scheme, benefit of the scheme called Manrega. And NPCI mapping you can consider here. Mapping is the process of associating a bank with Aadhaar number which is facilitated by the NPCI for DBT, direct benefit transfer, to the respective bank to have linked the Aadhaar. That's all about that one. Simply enter this discussion, you need to remember a few points here. Simply as per new APBS introduced by the Ministry of Rural Development, every family who want to get a benefit under the scheme called Manrega scheme, that is 100 days employment scheme, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, they must and should complete Aadhaar seeding with their job card, Aadhaar authentication and NPCI mapping to receive funds in a bank account. And if any family or a person fails those 3 steps, that is Aadhaar seeding, Aadhaar authentication, and the one more is NPCI mapping, they will not be eligible to get any work under the scheme called Manrega. Now question, what stands for APBS? P stands bridge, Aadhaar payment bridge system. Option D is the correct answer for this question, right? Move to the next one. This is simply, many times in supermarkets we will see different types of oils, refinery oils, sunflower oils and rice bran oil, like that. So recently in one of the city in our nation, 7th international conference, remember the conference count is 7th international conference on what? On rice bran oil. You can observe here rice bran oil. Advantages of rice bran oil also I will explain, but see the first conference point of view. International conference on rice bran oil recently organized by the International Association of Rice Bran Oil. Okay, this one, International Association of Rice Bran Oil, in association with the Solvent Extractors Association of India. In which Indian city? Actually, this organization headquarters, International Association of Rice Bran Oil headquarters is at Mumbai. Okay, it is in Mumbai only. They organized this 7th international conference on rice bran oil in association with Solvent Extractors Association of India. In which Indian city? It is, if we look at the options here, option E Bangalore, B Mumbai, C Chennai, and next options you can observe here, D Hyderabad and E Delhi. In fact, this 7th conference on rice bran oil is held in a city called Hyderabad. Option D is the correct answer for this question, right? It is which location it was held? It is in Hyderabad, right? Next, now let's see the rice bran oil, how it was extracted. Rice bran oil is the oil extracted from the hard outer brown layer of rice called bran. Okay, rice bran oil is extracted from the hard outer brown layer of rice called bran. You may have like a brown rice, white rice. If we remove that layer brown, the brown color layer, it will become like a white rice for us. And but brown rice is the one which having highest protein content, and from that bran only this rice bran oil is extracted, and now advantage are given here. So we use palm oils, that refinery oils and sunflower oils, and you may see many times in supermarkets rice bran oil. See, the advantage of rice bran oil is also an excellent source of poly and mono unsaturated fat, that is good fat. Studies have shown that consuming these unsaturated fats can improve blood cholesterol levels, which can decrease your risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. This is an advantage of rice bran oil. So if you want to use this oil in your kitchen, it will be helpful for your family as well as your health also. That's the extra info that I shared with you people. So coming to our question discussion, 7th International Conference on Rice Bran Oil. So how many conference? 7th one. International Conference on Rice Bran Oil, recently organized by this organization, International Association of Rice Bran Oil. International Association of Rice Bran Oil, location at Mumbai, in association with Solvent Extractors Association of India, in which Indian city, and that is in a city called Hyderabad, right? So move to the next question, question number 6th one. Again, it's a science and technology kind of question. See, recently our ISRO launched 2 satellites. Their names are TeleOS 2, Lumelight 4, with the help of PSLV C55. Okay, dedicated commercial PSLV mission of New Space India Limited. As I discussed earlier, New Space India Limited is the one, a commercial arm of ISRO. They will provide a market for our space organizations, and here they provided market for ISRO 2 satellites which belongs to one nation. Those satellites will be sent by our ISRO, and this is overall a 57th flight of PSLV. These 2 satellites, TeleOS 2 and Lumelight 4, belongs to which country? Simply in this question I am saying, we are discussing, ISRO recently launched 2 satellites. Their names are TeleOS 2 and Lumelight 4. These 2 satellites belongs to which country? And simply they are from, if you look at the options, France, Thailand, Singapore, UAE, Australia, and these 2 satellites help especially from the nation called Singapore. Okay, Singapore. Option C is the correct answer. In examinations you can expect what stands for PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, and what are the 2 satellites from Singapore recently sent by belongs to Singapore, recently sent by our ISRO, that is TeleOS 2 is the one more is Lumelight 4. Fine, so those are the things you should remember, right? Moving to the next question, question number 7th one. Fine, question number 7th one. Again, this is a missile test. Actually, India has successfully conducted the maiden flight trial of a sea-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile, right? So India has successfully conducted the maiden, first time, flight trial of a, this is the point, sea-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile. As of now, India has land-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missiles we have. What actually this particular test, let me explain. If any enemy country, this is like India, north, south, east, west. So if any country, enemy countries, like from this side Pakistan, from this side China, if any enemy countries are attacking India with missiles, those missiles will be intercepted in a air itself. We can destroy them before reaching our Indian territories. Okay, as of now, land-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile technology we have. For the first time ever, sea-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile test was successfully completed. So what actually it means, let me explain. If China or Pakistan, any other country is attacked India with their ballistic missiles, ballistic missile, cruise missile, again I explained in this question itself. So, but let me give a clarity. if Pakistan and China are attacking India, or else any other country attacking India with the missiles, without reaching those missiles to Indian territories, with the technology we have now, that is land-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile, with the help of this, we can destroy those missiles without reaching to Indian territories. This is now we have a land-based kind of thing, and indigenously successfully we completed first flight with respect to sea-based endo-atmospheric interceptor missile of the coast of Odisha. The missile test was conducted by the, who conducted this missile test, that's also important, conducted by the DRDO, Defense Research Development Organization, you can see here, conducted by the DRDO and the Navy on Friday. The purpose of the trial was to engage and neutralize a hostile ballistic missile. Right, that's what the purpose I explained already. You can see this one, you will get a full clarity. You can see this one. The purpose of the trial was to engage and neutralize a hostile ballistic missile threat, hereby elevating India into the elite club of nations having naval BMD capability. As of now, sea-based this technology, naval BMD technology capability, only few countries possess, and India is going to become into that list. At present, which of the following countries have fully operational BMD systems? Okay, right. So see the options: US, China, Russia, Israel, all of the above. Correct answer is all these four nations that I given as options all possess this naval BMD capability. What is BMD? Ballistic Missile Defense System. This one BMD, ballistic missile defense. It means if enemy countries are attacking us, so their missiles will be destroyed before reaching Indian territories. That's the technology. So as of now, this technology possessing countries, both land as well as sea based, these all four countries, US, China, Russia, Israel. India have land based now technology, but sea based thing here we achieved with the help of this particular flight test. Right. So, and some extra info I given here. What is actually ballistic missile? A ballistic trajectory is the path of any object that is launched but with no active propulsion during its actual flight. Thus, in such missiles, the trajectory has to be fully determined by a given initial velocity. It means what? Ballistic missile is nothing but propulsion will be given only at the start of using missile only. Later onwards, that missile will travel with the help of gravitational force, air resistance, and earth rotation. All these things based upon that particular thing, that missile will reach into the target in a trajectory manner. Okay, like in a trajectory like this. If we launch any missile, if it is a ballistic missile, the trajectory of ballistic missile like this. Okay, at the start only we will give propulsion. Later onwards, how much velocity we generated here, with that velocity only it will reach to the target. Sometimes it may hit exactly, sometimes may not be. That's what ballistic missiles precision is not up to the expectation. Simply gravitational force, air resistance, those all things matters to reach any ballistic missile into the target. And next thing, you can observe here. So effects of gravity, air resistance, and Earth's motion. These weapons are powered only during relatively brief periods. Most of the flight is unpowered. That's what I said. Next thing, cruise missile. A cruise missile is nothing but guided missile used against terrestrial or naval targets that remain in the atmosphere and flies the major portion of its flight path at an approximately constant speed until, simply let me give a clarity, the difference between ballistic missile and cruise missile. Ballistic missile at the beginning only, propulsion, at the time of propulsion only, fuel will be injected, then during the trajectory with the support from gravitational force, air resistance, all these things decides whether will it reach target accurately or not. Whereas cruise missile, until it reaches target, it will be propulsion will takes place, and with a constant speed also. It is more accurate ballistic compared to ballistic missile, right? So that's all about this particular question. Move to the next question, question number 8th one. Yeah. So you can see the pictures here. These pictures will say a certain category, certain tribal people especially. These tribal people, the tribal name as Haki Paki, this one, Haki Paki tribal community, are stuck in violence, hit Sudan. As I discussed previous day itself about the incidents which are happening in Sudan, there is a conflict between their armed forces as well as paramilitary forces. So that's why India is vacating, Indian residents are vacating Sudan nation, and our government of India also started an operation called Operation Kaveri to evacuate all the Indians from Sudan. And I discussed yesterday itself, Sudan capital Khartoum and Sudan currency, Sudan is pound. It's an African country. Now, from that particular African nation called Sudan, more than 181 members of the Haki Paki tribal community. You can see this particular guys. They almost will stay in forest areas only, and they don't have proper sheltering, all those things. Okay. More than 181 members of the Haki Paki tribal community are stuck in violence hit Sudan. The Haki Paki tribe is a semi-nomadic tribe, traditional, engaged in a bird catching, right? Haki means bird, Paki means catching or hunting. That's why the tribal community named as Haki Paki. In bird catching and hunting, living in a forest areas in West and South India. As per 2011 census point of view, the tribal population, this Haki Paki tribal population is around 11,892 count exists. Now the question is, Haki Paki tribal community widely observed in which Indian state, right? It is, if you look at the options, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and correct answer is it is Karnataka. Haki Paki, that's widely you can observe in the state called Karnataka. Why this tribal community is in news? If you want to know, simply this particular tribal community, after hunting and catching birds, from that birds they will prepare some products, they will manufacture some products like extracting oils, all those things, and that products have very decent market value in African countries. That's why they will export their products to African countries, and because of that thing only, nearly 180 plus Haki Paki tribal community members are now stuck in violence hit Sudan, and because of that, this tribal community is in news here. Haki Paki, Haki means bird, Haki means bird, Piki means catching or hunting, and this Haki Piki tribal community we will observe majorly in which Indian state? It is in Karnataka, right? Yeah. So next one, and the final question of today's discussion, it's all about a static one, as every day I'm discussing like a one static question also, that is national parks. You can see here, Sundarban National Park, Singalila National Park, Neora Valley National Park, Gorumara National Park, Buxa National Park. It's also a tiger reserve along with the Sundarban. Jaldapara National Park. These 6 national parks. How many national parks here? 6. These 6 national parks mentioned above, national parks are located in which Indian state or UT, right? So simply options you can consider here. That is Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Karnataka, West Bengal, Odisha. As I discussed, the only national park in Ladakh is Emis National Park. And in Jammu and Kashmir, 4 national parks I discussed already: Dachigam, Istwar, Forest City National Park, that I can say Salim Ali National Park with other name Salim Ali, and one more is Kaji Nag National Park. These all 4 national parks in which UT, Jammu and Kashmir. In Ladakh, Emis National Park. Now our question is, these 6 national parks, what are the names? Sundarban, Singalila, Neora Valley, Gorumara National Park, Buxa National Park, Jaldapara National Park. In which Indian state? The question. Simply, these all national parks are located in West Bengal. You can remember with simply like this. Sundar Singlila went to Neora Valley to watch Jal by taking permission from Bengal government. So this is just like a cheat code I'm conveying to you people. Here, see, this is a cheat code for all these 6 national parks in West Bengal. See, total how many national parks in West Bengal? 6, right? Let's see what are that 6. This is the one thing. Sundarbans National Park, Singalila National Park, went to where? Neora Valley National Park to watch what? Jal, like water. Jaldapara National Park, 4 over, right? Sundarbans, Singalila, Neora Valley, Jaldapara National Park, and by taking permission from, I given here Bengal government, B and G, Bengal B, G here. You can consider B like a Buxa Tiger Reserve, whereas G like a Gormura Tiger Reserve. Buxa National Park, even it is a Tiger Reserve also, Gormura National Park. Okay, these are the 6 national parks in which state? West Bengal. Simply remember with a cheat code. Sundar Singalila went to Neora Valley to visit or to watch Jal by taking permission from this Bengal government. Here, Bengal government, first letter B, Buxa, government G, like you can remember, Gormura National Park. Okay, these are the 6 national parks in West Bengal. So this is the today's current affair discussion. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day. Bye.